Yep, that's right. Elon once again is getting sued. And I say again because this is very common for Elon. For example, last year he was being sued over Dogecoin. So retail investors said that he basically pump and dumped it. Then you have Twitter employees who keep getting fired by Elon and they want to sue him, including a lady that says that she's being discriminated against. Then there's a bunch of money that needs to be paid at Twitter and he's not paying the bills. So these companies are coming after him and suing him, including some sort of private jet company where it's like $147 million that's owed or something like that. It's weird. And then that really famous one from last year, do you remember this little small social media company called Twitter that Elon said he was going to buy and then try to renege, and then the company sued him and forced him to actually buy, which caused him to liquidate a lot of his shares in Tesla to pay for Twitter, which caused the stock to go from $300 to almost $101. Yeah, that happened in 2022. Actually, the $101 was January 6th. If you didn't get that reference, I'm sorry, but think about it. Yes, it's actually not uncommon for Elon to get sued. And in fact, a lot of these lawsuits don't actually make the news. But the only one that really mattered last year was the Twitter deal. And I actually think that this one matters as well. And I'm going to tell you why. But first of all, if you guys recall, I am a Tesla bear. It doesn't mean that I don't think the company is good. And fundamentally, I think Tesla is actually a very healthy company and I see a future for Tesla. And I think that one day it may revisit the all-time high, 4 or 5 years from now. But as of right now, due to the economy, inflation, interest rates, Elon, I think the stock will actually break 101 at one point and actually go down to $65, where I think it's a good valuation. And look at me, you're like, $65, you're smoking crack. Yeah, that's what you guys told me over 6 months ago when it was at 300 and I said it was gonna go to 150, and it actually happened. And then when it's at 150, I said it was gonna go to $100, and I was off a dollar. So just give me some credit for that at least.
That's all you have to do!
But for 6 months, I've been screaming on Money Market Truths, a podcast I do with my buddy Mo, as well as on my channel, that Tesla is just overvalued because it is, in the end of the day, a car company. And I know what you're thinking right now. Oh, no, it's not. It's a tech company. There's a lot of software and blah, blah, blah. But until I see their earnings where it states otherwise, to me, it's a car company. So 98% of the profit comes from selling vehicles. And yes, they have some great high margins and they're finally profitable. Yes, if you didn't know this, it wasn't until about 2021 where their car sales actually outperformed the EV credits that they were basically being held up on for, many years. So the company is relatively new when it comes to making money. As you guys know, there's also a cult following. There's a lot of fanboys out there. But anyways, I digress. There's plenty of videos that I've done on this or spoke about it on like the IG live recently that I did on OTB Clubhouse. But this lawsuit can actually potentially be the catalyst to bring the stock down to $65. And I'll tell you why. Well, first and foremost, you need to understand who Elon Musk is. And I know a lot of people see him as this genius billionaire. And I know that the media really kind of created this character of Elon, or in fact, maybe Elon created himself as this character. But if you look at the history of Elon going all the way back when he was with PayPal, before PayPal was PayPal, he always wanted to be the face of the company. He wanted to be in front of the company. He wanted to be the personality. He essentially wants to be a celebrity. A cool guy, a guy who could get a bunch of hot chicks, and he definitely achieved that goal. Hell, the liberal media literally made him this autistic billionaire that loves everybody and is for the people and is all about green energy.
It's an honor to be hosting Saturday Night Live.
I called you the real Tony Stark. Okay, you've got your finger in so many different advanced technologies. As I said, SpaceX, Tesla, now you've got Solar City and the solar pack that people put in their houses.
Well, I mean, the Mars thing is really, like, if you say what is going to be really important to the preservation of civilization or life as we know it, more than just, humanity.
Actually, so we've got a pet snail called Gary. This is from Gary the snail from South Park.
Until the orange guy got into the White House and he kind of started siding with the orange guy. And now all of a sudden he's some crazy racist right-wing idiot who doesn't know what he's doing, and he's going to run Twitter into zero and Tesla into zero, and nobody wants to work with him and blah, blah, blah.
But like everything else around us, he just became the subject of our partisan divide. In a TED Talk this week, he suggested his bid for Twitter is all about free speech.
Unfortunately, half of the country is also liberals, and the liberal owns the media, and therefore they're able to create the narrative, and the narrative currently is that he is crazy on the level of Kanye West. Because if you haven't been following stories, apparently Twitter now is a place for hate speech, is a place for bigotry, is a place for racism and sexism, and free speech now equals violence.
The View co-host made the announcement on the ABC show on Monday.
I'm getting off today because I just feel like, you know, it's so messy.
She went on to say this.
I'm gonna get out, and if it settles down and I feel more comfortable, maybe I'll come back. But as of tonight, I'm done with Twitter.
Goldberg listed all the whiplash announcements Musk has made since completing his takeover of the social media platform.
See, when I grew up, violence was actually physically hurting somebody. Now, violence are words. This country really got soft. But even if you look at a 10Q, one of the risks is Elon and his perception and people, how they see him. And he likes to be in the forefront. He likes to tweet on a daily basis. Literally, he basically just replaced Trump and put himself in there. And now he's the guy who's always tweeting and fighting with people and getting in arguments.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question?
Go ahead.
No, Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
President-elect,
Go ahead.
since you are attacking our news organization,
Not you.
can you give us a chance?
Your organization
you
is
are attacking
terrible.
our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give
is
us a
terrible.
chance
Let's
to
go.
ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet.
you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect?
And that ultimately makes a lot of investors feel uncomfortable. Now, if you look who actually owns majority of Tesla shares, it's almost half institution and half retail investors. But slowly, institutions are selling off Tesla stock because they're worried about the unpredictability of Tesla itself. Because as we know, it's very volatile. It moves up and down and swings drastically. So it's a little scary to own personally. I don't have the risk tolerance for it, but I know there's a lot of bag holders out there. I know there's a lot of people who believed in it on the beginning stages when it was like $40. I have a friend who has over 800 shares at $45 per share. It's pretty damn good. I wouldn't sell at that point. But if you are a bag holder at 300, you might be a bag holder for a while. Or you could just lie to yourself and convince yourself that no, it's gonna go back next month. We'll see. This lawsuit, I think, is kind of a big deal. Now, I'm gonna quote CNN here, which I don't like to do, but I'm gonna quote the article that I just read on CNN where they explain what's currently going on. So let's get into it. According to CNN, Musk, Tesla, and other Tesla directors are facing a shareholders lawsuit over his now infamous 2018 tweet, which said he was thinking about taking Tesla private at the price of $420 a share. If he had ended the tweet right there, there wouldn't still be coverage of it, or a lawsuit that seeks unspecified damages. But he concluded it was two words that have resulted in Musk having to pay millions of dollars in fines and legal fees by using the word funding secured. Now, if you're unsure what they mean about the funding secured, well, see, in 2018, Tesla almost went bankrupt because remember, Tesla wasn't profitable until recently and they were being held up a lot of these EV credits. But he was trying to take this company private by striking this deal with the Saudi Arabians, and he said that the funding was secure, which in fact it really wasn't. And the whole 420 price target, I think, was a joke because at that time he was dating some chick who was a pothead. I think he just wanted to impress her and he was hoping that the stock would go up after he would tweet that, which in fact it actually did. It jumped up several tens of dollars. I think it was like $40 or $50 in a day. It never actually made it to 420. It actually retraced, but the fact that he tweeted this and then people started buying is kind of market manipulation. That's why I think he's actually in trouble, because he actually settled with the SEC that actually sued him for a civil suit for $40 million, and he settled it. If you ask him now why he did, he said, well, it's like someone had a gun to my child's head. He wanted to save Tesla, and he knew that if this lawsuit didn't go away and if it continued to get this coverage, there's a good chance that he would lose funding. So he settled. But what most smart people would do is stop doing the same thing that got you in trouble the first time. That tweet literally cost him $40 million. If you think about it, he tweeted $40 million, but he kept doing this. And this is why I think there may be an issue. Not only did he settle, which kind of makes him seem like he was guilty and he admitted to kind of manipulating the market, but he continued to do this. He did this with Dogecoin. I don't know if you guys recall, but you remember when he said we're going to start accepting Dogecoin as a currency to pay for Teslas, and Dogecoin skyrocketed. And then when he said he was going to accept Bitcoin skyrocketed. And then when he said they're no longer going to take Bitcoin dumped. I was part of that. I took an L on that. I literally bought Bitcoin, and then the next day he tweeted and the stock went down. or the cryptocurrency went down. And that's the day when I started my beef with Elon. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that. But he continued to do these things, even with his own stock. When the stock was at the all-time high, he said, I don't think Tesla is really valued at this price, and people started selling, and then he started buying when he felt that it reached the bottom. There's a lot of manipulation happening here, and I think it's going to end up biting him in the ass, hence the reason why I think he actually may lose this lawsuit. Of course, he could appeal, but there's some other key factors here. He actually requested a lawsuit will be held in Texas, and the judge said, no, we're going to do it here in San Francisco, which happens to be in Cali, which happens to be predominantly liberal, which also happens to be the place where he fired a lot of Twitter employees. And essentially, Cali is just, they don't like Elon anymore. By the way, did I mention that I am a Tesla bear temporarily? I am, but I still kind of feel bad for Elon in this situation. Now, again, I don't think he's some crazy billionaire genius. In fact, I think he's kind of got lucky in a lot of ways, but he does deal with a level of autism. He's on the spectrum, and if you know anybody with autism, you know that when they get razor focused on something, they will focus on that and they will not let go. Hence the reason why he's been on Twitter and kind of neglecting Tesla, and the reason why a lot of people have been selling it off, and I think that it is somewhat of a risk. And if he loses this court case, there could be another series of Elon selling Tesla shares to try to cover this lawsuit. But we don't even know what the amount is. Could it be 250 million or could it be billions? We don't know yet. So until we find out, I think people are sitting on the sidelines and just carefully watching this case, because I think this one is actually going to hit the news. In fact, today was the first day of the hearing, and it went back and forth, and his lawyer has been saying that no, he really did intend to buy and go private at 420. Funding just didn't go through. The prosecution is saying no, you were trying to manipulate the market and you were just tweeting out your ass. So we're going to see what's going to happen from there. Me personally, once again, like I said, I am not invested in Tesla right now. I did buy some shares and then I sold them and I took an L because I seriously think it's going to go to $65. And I'd rather just wait until it drops below $100 to buy in versus continue to buy as it's kind of up there. It's still at a good price compared to 500, compared to 200, compared to 300. You get my drift, but still, I'm not ready to establish a position yet. I'd rather wait until it hits below 100, and I definitely will be a buyer at $65. But what about you? What will you do? Have you bought into Tesla yet? Are you a bag holder? Are you not a bag holder? Are you a believer of Elon? I'm sure you are. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of thumbs down in this video, but don't worry. Listen, I have a whole bunch of other videos I think you will enjoy, like right here or right here. Check them out. I do reaction videos. I do trading group reviews. I used to, at least. I call out scammers. I do a lot of stuff. So just, support. And again, thank you for watching Uncultured Currency. Elon, close it out for us.
Okay. I just got cultured.